Power up complete. We're back. I need to do a little promoting. Right there. Let's see. Promotions, and more promotions.
Hello, guys. I'm really glad that we were feeling good enough to stream today.
Yeah, so do I. I felt like crap the last few days.
Yes, indeed. It's nice not to feel like crap.
Definitely. All right. So we are back. It is day 24. Day 24? Yes, good. All right. We are making stuff. Gotta remember which keys are used in this game. And what is it? What's on the agenda today?
I'm not really sure. I didn't really think past, I don't feel so bad I couldn't stream. That was about the extent of the thought process right there.
Okay, so then I'll queue up some of these.
So,
Hey, John.
hey, Aaron. One of the things that I do want to talk about is the news about A21, but I want to wait because I know it takes a while for everybody to be like, "Oh yeah, you guys are streaming. Let's come watch." So I want to wait until we get a few more people in so that they can hear the news. We've got a few things to say. We've got a few things to say about it. I'm sure that a lot of people have opinions once they actually hear what the news is. Personal news, we are feeling, hey Ada, we are feeling better. We felt absolutely rancid the last couple of days. Venom even took time off of work because he just felt like so garbage. But we are feeling better, so that's good news. And I'm the first person to pronounce your name right. Well, I had to look at it for a second. I'm like, that looks like Aaron to me. Okay. Don't be surprised and don't get used to it, guys. I pronounce names badly all the time, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, but today I even took a nap, which is not my usual, but I did take a nap. I'm looking for why you're still hanging in midair. That's what I'm looking for. I took a nap today and I woke up and I felt so much better. It was amazing.
Well,
yes,
if you got
naps is good. I like naps.
Stand your smell.
So yeah, about this news.
Okay, so the Fun Pimps released what some of their plans are for A21, and some of the plans are excellent. There's new POIs that are coming, which I always appreciate.
Listen up,
this is Clear Hotel. All right. Might be all right.
What?
I picked up a quest. Hey, Yara.
Tier 5 clear or Tier 4 clear?
Tier 4. Hey, Black Asp. Yes,
hey
and also I wanted to tell everybody who came to the Discord to wish us a speedy recovery. Thank you very much. I did appreciate that very much.
Yes.
But the news is for A21, they released some of their plans. Like I was saying, some of the plans are new POIs, which is amazing. And then they were going to, oh gosh, there was like a whole list of things that they've been working on, and they have plans for it. And a lot of it's really good, and it's real positive stuff. But the biggest news is what they're going to be doing with crafting.
Yeah, the hot take right now.
The hot take right now is that instead of right now, like obviously this is Darkness Falls, so it's a bit different, but you have to perk into certain abilities to be able to craft tiers of weapons. So you have to put into, I don't remember what it is in vanilla, but you have like a, what is it? Do you remember what it is in vanilla?
What?
Like, if I wanted to put into shotguns, what would be the skill for that in vanilla?
You'd go
Is it boomstick?
Yeah, I believe it's boomstick.
this is different, obviously, because this is Darkness Falls. But in vanilla, let's say it's boomstick. So you do this, and then you can craft higher and higher tier shotguns with just
But it
this.
also gives you more skill and usage with it too.
Right, like it increases damage and all of this other stuff, right? It's all encapsulated into one perk. Well, they're not going to be doing that anymore. What they're going to be doing is that they're going to have what they call, what is it? Learning by looting. I think that's what they're
Learn by
calling.
looting?
Yeah, so you're going to find these magazines, and you have to collect these magazines to grant you like the next tier of quality in crafting of that particular item. So like you have to get shotgun magazines to craft a better shotgun. And I think it's like 3, 12, 20 something, and then 60 that you have to get. So like, and then they give you this place where you can track how many magazines that you've actually attained in a certain thing. So you're going to need one for shotguns, one for rifles, one's for handguns. And I don't know if it's like specific handguns have specific ones. I don't think so, but a lot of people are not particularly happy about it. I don't know. It depends on how it feels. They're trying to build in some RNG protection. So like if you've perked into shotguns, like you decided that you wanted the shotgun skill, it gives you kind of a boost in finding these magazines out in the wild. So you'll be more likely to find shotgun magazines out in the world if you put points into the perk. The perk
Where are you going?
to the... Oh, I think I'm tracking the wrong quest. The perk just gives you, I think it like gives you increased chance to find the stuff out in the wild. Is that all it does? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, you get a boost to your probabilities.
And then once you've got 100% in that skill, the probability that you'll find those magazines will go down again. What you're going to do with them once you reach 100% and you keep finding them, I don't know. They weren't talking about that part. Hello, Chaos. Hello, Jinxie. Hello, Little Red Bird. I look great in purple. Thank you. This is a color that's specific to Darkness Falls. It's called Jawudo Purple. It is one of my favorites. So I don't know. What do you guys think about this? It's over on the forums, on the 7 Days to Die actual like website forums. So if you want to read up a little bit about it, I'm assuming people are hotly debating it over there, like mad.
I skimmed over the forums, and yeah, there was some hot takes.
I know that Lainey did a video already. She put out a video about it today. She does have some concerns, and I think rightfully so. I think anything that makes you rely too much on RNG to be able to progress kind of feels bad in the end.
Master, we are not alone.
That's my personal take on it. Because they've done it before where you had to find books to be able to get different abilities and skills. Like if you wanted to make a mini bike way back in A16, you had to find mini bikes for dumb shits, or you couldn't make it, period. So if you got really bad RNG and you just couldn't find it, well, you were just SOL. So building in some RNG protection, I mean, that sounds good. How's it going to feel to play? I don't know. So one of the things, I don't want to steal Lainey's thunder or anything from her video. I do want you to go watch it. It's pretty short. And it's pretty good take on everything. She explains it, I think, a little more in depth than I did, because I think she had the information right there at hand. But one of the things that she said was possibly you could integrate it into like a set bonus, kind of like V Rising does. If you get certain gear, all of the pieces together will give you bonuses on top of that. So maybe instead of just better quality, maybe you could, with the perk, get better, like a set bonus or something like that. You'd have other bonuses on top of it. She was also talking about not being able to craft top tier gear and how that kind of stinks. And so if you could either make it harder, or you could have like that set bonus if you put perked into it so that you could craft better stuff.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Maybe that would help.
Yeah, and I fully agree with her that she makes a point that when you work really hard to get all the materials and skills up to go craft the top item you can craft, and then maybe before you even get to actually craft it, you loot something that's better, completely invalidating all those points and all those materials.
Yeah.
And that is super frustrating. And I
Snowbee,
agree with that.
Snowbee or GNS made a video about this very topic already. Yep. And was that robot talking? Yes, it was. It's a little drone that Venom has following him around, and it does talk.
A lot. It's very talkative.
I don't remember where I saw about the forum thing, but it just came to my attention today, and I started passing it around. I was like, hey, did you guys know that they're making some really big changes? Some of my concerns are that they're making these really huge changes, and they're talking about they want to release like sooner rather than later. So making these really late changes that are so drastic to me is very concerning. If it doesn't go over well, or if it doesn't work out, or they can't balance it or fix it, then we're just going to be stuck unless you play a mod. And I think that's kind of a bad way to go, in my personal opinion, when you're making a game. I mean, you obviously, the people who make the game have the final say of what's going to be in the game, but I don't know, making these really drastic changes where it seems like it's more like right at the end of development seems really weird to me.
Well, there's the aspect of don't build up a target audience and then switch audiences.
Right. There's also that.
I've picked up something.
Because everybody has, I mean, there have been a lot of changes over the years. That's true. They've made some pretty drastic changes, but they've had a very long time to kind of figure out where they wanted to go with the game, build a direction, and have an audience that expects certain things about the direction of the game. And to kind of swap that out right at the end just seems really odd. But that's just me.
Every major change they do, they gain some people who are more in line with the new vision, or they lose people that were no longer in line with the new vision.
Oh, there's a down. Is that your down? Did you make that?
Didn't make that down. I didn't make that down.
I've been very distracted in this POI. I'm sorry.
I can tell.
If the changes come with the game getting optimized, I'll deal with them if I don't like the changes. Well, it's probably going to come down to, well, I'll just mod it then.
Yeah.
Is what it kind of comes down to, which is sad, I think. But I mean, to be fair, that's kind of how it's come to anyway. I don't like the changes that they made to farming, and I don't like the buy-in for the attribute system, and I don't like a lot of other things in vanilla, and modding it is how I get around that.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't like that there's really no end game, or that it just feels like you get to quote-unquote end game so quickly, and then what sets in?
Yep. Always suffering the end, then what?
Those goth boots? Yep, those are goth boots. At first I thought it was hazmat boots, and I was like, wait, what did I see? Oh no, that's not. Obviously you can change a lot of the settings and stuff, which I really like, and they have been quite supportive really about mods and being able to play your own way. Ooh, gosh, that's a lot. Coil carbine, steel club, lots of ammo, structural brace mod. Very nice. You were like, what? Electric hammer? And then you saw the runes. Yeah. Yes.
You want is an actual story. Yeah, an actual story would be nice. Yeah.
Do you need bladed weapon notes, or are you capped out on blade skill?
I'm capped down on blades.
Okay.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, this is Eric's hammer. In this particular mod, there are legendary weapons. So this one,
That's one of them.
this happens to be one of them, and it has a 75% chance to shock enemies during the day. And it is amazing. Hey, Grey Walker. I hear somebody snarling, and it's not clear yet.
Oh. Oh, it's probably the roof. We never went to the roof.
So I know that like one of the big changes that they made between A16 and A17 was that kind of like Darkness Falls, where you skill up by doing. So like if I mine a whole lot, I'm going to get mining skill. That's kind of how it used to be in A16. If you wanted to make better guns, you had to find parts, kind of like in Darkness Falls. If you wanted to do a lot of things, actually. Not everything, obviously, is like A16 in this. The zombies still dig, and now you have demons and stuff as well to deal with. But a lot of people were really upset that they took out learn by doing. A lot of people really liked that, and they really liked the parts and stuff like that, having to collect up and being able to make better stuff the way that they wanted to. Like, even the vehicles, you could find good parts and put the parts together and make a better vehicle. Now you just make the default vehicle. There's only one quality or one grade of vehicle. So if you make a motorcycle, it's a motorcycle, period. It's not like a crappy motorcycle or a really good motorcycle. It's just a motorcycle. That's not the way it used to be.
Right. And I think I've stated before, my problem is when you hit a point of now what, and I don't want to hit that too soon, but in any system where you craft it once and done, you're pretty much hitting that the moment you get the top tier item.
That's another thing, is that you put all these points into crafting something, and then you craft it, and then you never have to use it again, and then it feels like wasted points. I think Lainey was hitting on that as well.
Right.
Snowby interviewed Kane today and asked about the storyline of Darkness Falls and if he will be completing it, and Kane said he is working on it. It's nice to see normal killer zombies attempting to kill y'all while you're gathering resources in a destroyed world of mayhem. Yeah, it's a little different than, say, Back 4 Blood, where they're just trying to kill us, and we're just not going to let them. We're not really gathering anything. This is very tall. It's a little butt clenchy. I don't like it. It still says it's not clear, which I don't like.
Not seeing any of those pointers.
Well, I'm up on the roof. Oh, there's a bird here. There's two more, I think, up here. Yeah, like my archery skill just increased because I used my crossbow. And there's more roof.
More roof.
Good lord. It's very foggy today.
Feeling very distracted today.
Well, at least we're not feeling like garbage today.
It is true.
That is a relief.
We've been playing a lot of V Rising recently.
Yeah, I'd like to do an episode on V Rising.
I think we should do a series.
It's pretty fun, guys. It's pretty fun.
Having
I
fun
don't
with
know if you guys have been watching Lainey play with Spange and Johnny and Bladed and Ironwolf, but Lainey's also playing on her server. I see somebody around that corner. Is that a... No, it's broken. Ah!
I see dots. I see dots.
I'm terrible at blade skill. Terrible.
My senses.
That was it.
Yay! I'll watch you. Oh, well, thank you, little bird. Little red bird. That's awesome. But yeah, you get to be a vampire, and you can end up getting horses, and you can name them, and you get servants, and
And you can name them.
you can name them. You can also have a graveyard. You want to build up your castle. There's so many different things to build in the castle. It's kind of ludicrous. I mean, good ludicrous, but still.
Yeah, they supply lots of decorations. It's we haven't made it to endgame yet.
But we have learned a lot because we were absolute noobs.
Nebs.
And we restarted now that we know a lot more about what you're supposed to be doing. And oh my god, you guys, it went so much better. I did so much less complaining. You wouldn't even believe it. Read from the hotbar. I will do as you say. I was going to say, it didn't do anything. I can scrap
was it?
that. It was the bladed weapon notes. Oh wait, that had a die in it, I think. Scrap those. This has a die in it. That can get scrapped. How much is that worth? 164? That's not too
Honestly,
bad.
when it comes to the fun pimps, you would think that they would look at some of the more popular mods like Darkness Falls and Ravenhurst, try to, take inspiration from it.
I think they almost seem like resistant.
That's the way. That's what I was about to say. Is they kind of feels like they kind of go the opposite direction.
I've talked about it before. Sometimes it feels like, they want to stop you from playing a certain way, and so they make the rules of the game change so that you play the way that they think you should. And I don't know if that's how they really do it. It even in their live streams and stuff, it kind of comes across that way. I'm not going to say that that's their motivation, but it is their game, and if that's how they want to structure it, I guess there's nothing that we can really say about it other than, well, I guess I'll be modding it forever then.
Right. Now, granted, they do open it wide up to mods. So
Right.
They do fully support
Which not
mods, so you
everybody
gotta
does. Not everybody does do that.
or at least they don't do it well.
It seems to be set up for more console as the key binding is so different from most. Yeah, that's another thing. They are ramping up for console, and a lot of things are changing, and it seems like kind of console centric. Some of the changes.
Are we talking about this, or are we talking about V Rising? V Rising.
Oh,
is
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
set for console.
Yeah, V Rising is set up for console, but I don't know. The key bindings don't seem that bad to me on that. There are some games where I'm like, okay, this doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Getting used to the combat was tricky. But mostly because it's wherever your mouse points, and the camera gives you more, it shows more behind than it does in front of you, in front of your character. And that was very disorienting because I wanted to see more in front than behind.
Right.
And so I kept trying to do that, and I was shifting my mouse, and then it would shift it away from where I wanted to aim during combat, and then I would be turned around backwards, and then I would die. And I'm learning not to do that. I'm learning to live with the perspective that they've given us. You walked away from a corpse on the roof, Meso, next to the stairs, on top of the stairs. Yes. I have not been paying strict attention in this BOI. Everybody, I think, can see that I am quite distracted.
Blackass brings up a good point that there's very few
have-
7 Days to Die streamers, and the ones that are there, most of them are running modded games.
Well, okay, but also 7 Days to Die streamers, like, they've been playing for a really long time, and to be fair, vanilla gets, stale.
Like,
What are you gonna do? I mean, you can make up a whole bunch of rules for yourself, I suppose. Self-imposed, prescribed things, challenges, stuff. They do that too.
oh yeah.
But
Well,
then,
Liz
why not
right now
just...
from Horde V for Life has imposed a rule that she's got to kill Rect every Horde night.
as often as possible, she says. But she also has to balance that with actually finishing her quests and stuff, which is going to be tricky because they don't respawn right away. And I think they also bug out a lot if the trader dies. That's been our experience. If the trader dies,
Yeah, but that's mostly in multiplayer.
is it?
Yeah, most of that's multiplayer bugs.
Well, still,
She's playing single player, so she's not going to encounter near as many bugs as multiplayer does.
I hope not. There's nothing wrong with modding 7 days, and I don't really have a problem with just saying, okay, well, I'll just play a modded version. It just seems sad to me, is all.
Right.
Like, I know a lot of people mod Skyrim, for example, and some people wouldn't play vanilla Skyrim. They would only play modded Skyrim. I like to play the vanilla experience, and so there's not really anything I've modded into Skyrim. I think I had the Sky UI, which changed just the UI look so that it was more keyboard friendly instead of console friendly.
Yep.
But other than that, oh, I think we tried Capes once, and let me tell you, Capes added a lot just to the
Yeah, it was-
ambiance.
Yeah, we just added capes to people, wearable capes, and yeah, that added a huge feel to the game.
It was immersive.
Immersive.
The fun pimps may be trying to copy the leveling system, but not wanting to just copy paste. They tried to alter it. It may turn out well, it may not. Well, I remember when they tried a magazine experiment back in A17, and it was
A
garbage.
flop.
It was garbage.
A flop.
And they took it out, and a lot of people don't even remember it. I'm sure that they went through a lot of those phases in development, and that's fine. Iterative development happens. It has to happen, or you won't innovate, and I get that. But my thought process is changing it so hugely when
Late in the game, you might say?
late in the development cycle. It just seems crazy to me. They want to go gold. Their finished copy, I thought, in like a year or less than a year. I know that the pandemic slowed down things a lot, but I know that they were still trying to chug along. They have other projects that they want to get done. They want to move on to bigger and better things, which I don't blame them for. The wrench looks like something from Portal. It's true, it does.
Marcel, we are not alone.
It just seems like really huge changes right before you want to release just seems really weird and dangerous to their bottom line. Generic skill notes. Oh, I get a skill point.
Yes, those are nice. I'm thinking about the future V Rising stream. We were contemplating doing like a Sunday stream, like one of our one-offs. See how well that goes. If people really want to watch us play it, or if people say, nah, not my thing, we'll switch it off. But if it does take off, we might actually try to make that a series after we finish with this series. Possibly. Thoughts that run through our heads. Because Darkness Falls does a good job of prolonging the what now aspect of 7 days, but it's still there. It's just longer to reach.
Wow, that generic skill note came out of the garbage. Congrats.
That's some skilled garbage is what it is. It drops.
So
because they're beating down below.
that's another thing, is that I like 7 days. 7 days is a really good game. But I know that a lot of people who are 7 days streamers and 7 day people who do it on YouTube and stuff, that's what people want to see. Kind of like, Spange is Empyrean guy. People want to see him play Empyrean. But there's a newsflash. Spange doesn't always want to play Empyrean. We don't always want to play 7 Days to Die. I know that Lady wants to try out new games, and she's been trying it. If you're really concerned with analytics and growing your channel, which we're not desperately worried about, but if you want to, you can't really diversify all that much.
Right.
Because
you have to go where the numbers point you.
Yeah, and the numbers point to, this is why we came here, this is what we want. Stop doing that other crap because it's garbage.
Generally.
So that's not really our focus. We're not caring so much about analytics. I love the conversation and the chat and the people coming to enjoy us and have a good time. That's what I love. And so if people stop showing up, I think I would be kind of sad. But not for an analytics reason, just because I enjoy the streams kind of reason.
Exactly.
So when we say, hey, what do you guys want to see? What do you do you want to see us do this? Do you want to see us do that? We're genuinely asking, hey, why, we want to make the streams enjoyable too, and we want to play, oh, crap.
We want to play, oh, crap?
Yep. Anyway, we want to play stuff that we enjoy, but we want to play stuff that you guys want to see too. YouTube is very niche focused. It can be.
Yes. It's very much more. I would say it's more of a you've established yourself here. Don't move.
And
is kind of how that promotion works.
But I know that even having the people who've subbed to you hear about a new video, like being alerted to it, can be a thing if you do a video that's out of range, so to speak,
right,
of your norm, or just in general. But
my take is mostly that I like playing the video games and I like kind of sharing the experience. And for those that enjoy watching that, yeah.
Getting really full.
Is more my take on it.
So a lot of people that get into the niche stuff is because they care about analytics and they care about super growing their channel and they want to get really big and they want to have lots of numbers.
Right.
I'm not particularly caring about that. I want to know what you guys would like to see though. I'm not going to promise to do all of the things that you want to see, but I do. But we are listening. Yeah, we've been doing so much better in V Rising. Black Asp, you have no idea.
Incoming enemies, prepare for conflict.
You're not into V Rising? I can understand that. We do Divinity usually on Wednesdays. Oh, it started off just on my channel, but now that we can stream Duo, we do it together. And there are just some people.
Now that we've realized we can stream Duo.
Yeah, and there are just a lot of people who are. Divinity's not their bag, and I totally get it. I'm hyped up on it. I love that game. I think it's amazing. But there are people who don't, and we get that too.
There's definitely games I'm not into. Quite a few of them. In fact, I would leverage say that there's more games I'm not into than there are games I am into.
Oh, also, speaking of games that you may or may not be into, I think somebody was asking me, it was on like our last Back for Blood stream. Somebody was asking me how Guild Wars was going. I have not played in a while. I leveled up my first level 80 character all by myself without any kind of boost or anything. And that was pretty fun. You fill in the maps. You get rewarded for filling in the map and doing stuff. And it was just right up my alley. You collect things, you craft stuff. MMO type things, but just easy, good fun. I really enjoyed it. The stories were interesting. The characters were interesting that you interacted with and stuff. So I hear hissing outside, and I can't figure out how to get outside.
Head towards the bike. My bike. Oh, wait, you don't see the icon.
No, I don't.
Should be. Oh.
But I kept running into... Oh, there you are. I kept running into roadblocks after I hit level 80 because everything changes once you get to be level 80. And I mean everything, because the way that you play, the abilities that you have, all that stuff change if you get like elite skills after 80, or if you go and do the expansions and stuff. I don't think we got everything in there.
No. But I'm willing to call it good. I think we got all the big loot and stripped down a lot of it.
You can tell we've been ill. Not even stripping it down all the way. Oh my god. No boxes outside to help with the loot. You can tell that we're off our game. Divinity isn't my thing personally, but I'm here to see you guys. Oh, that's sweet, Jinxie. You believe it was you? Yes, I think I couldn't remember if it was you or somebody else. I was
wandering horde spawn in.
Uh-oh. I was willing to lean on the side of it being you, Little Redbird. I thought it was, but then I was like, wait, was it? I can't remember now. I think it was you that asked about Guild Wars. And the mastery system, after you turn 80, you not only have to get XP for every level, but then you have to have the appropriate mastery points and the appropriate mastery points in the appropriate expansion and an appropriate XP bar for every single type of unlock that you can do. And getting mastery points is kind of a pain in the ass sometimes, and it just seems like you get to one roadblock, you get that unblocked, and then another roadblock pops up, and I'm just kind of... I'm not in the mood for it right now. I'm not in the mood for a lot of roadblocks. A wandering horse?
Hey, you missed it.
You tried it yourself and it just confused you. Which? V-Rising or Divinity? I'm not in a Total War and that type of game. I like city and civilization building strategy games. Well,
This can be fun.
Divinity and V-Rising aren't Total War kind of games.
Oh no, definitely not.
They're not really city or civilization building strategy games either. Although, I would suggest perhaps Tropico series of games. I played those for years and years and years. And I enjoyed them very much. They are quite funny. You end up being the dictator of your own island. And you can either be a benevolent dictator or, you know...
Or not so much.
Not so much. I stop and play games a lot, but the one I always go back to is 7 Days. Yeah, 7 Days really does bring you back. I do get tired of it sometimes, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Mods help. Mods help with wanting to play for longer. For me, personally. I don't know if that's for everybody, but they do help me on that front. But I always do like to come back eventually. 7 Days. It's a fun game, and I really do enjoy it.
Oh, definitely.
I know you all
Well,
have
that
talked
definitely brings
about
back-
before, but the sorcery mod would be cool. I do want to try that. I do want to try the sorcery mod.
Looks like fun. I think it would definitely be worth trying out.
Oh, you said you tried it, but it was confusing. The sorcery mod. Okay. What am I doing? I was putting stuff away. That's what I was doing. I will say that so far they have done the putting away and sorting in V-Rising properly, in my estimation. Because they have one of these, like, shovel-like things into box type buttons.
They're actually using it.
And this, it's very much like this because in V-Rising, this whole first row, like basically what would be in your inventory, is basically all locked. So when you sort, it won't sort those because this first row is actually your toolbar. Like you would put your weapons and stuff in this first row because then they'll show up usable down on your toolbar. So that's interesting.
Also in Darkness Falls, for those who are unaware, ammo can be opened, which is nice.
Yeah, it makes a lot of noise though. Is all I'm saying. Oh no. Alright, well. Our clothing and weaponry boxes are almost full again.
Need to start upgrading then. Okay, yeah, I could spend a little bit of time upgrading. Don't need one there.
One thing that's nice about 7 Days to Die is it's a lot chiller than a lot of the other games that we play.
Oh yeah. Back for Blood can get really intense once you start lifting the difficulties up.
What? Oh, I hit the wrong button. I'm like, why did all that stuff just go in there? Because I hit the wrong button, that's why.
You hit push all.
Yeah. I think it's funny, Lainey was talking today about how she kind of hopes that they put in that you can craft directly from the boxes, but she says that not being able to do that is kind of forcing her to be organized and separate everything out and figure out where everything goes. I think it's kind of amusing.
Maybe one day she'll
Nah.
learn.
What's that? Rice seed. Oh. The seeds down here? That's what I thought. Oh, I didn't have any coffee or rice seed. Interesting. I need to scrap
One of
that.
these dies to get removed.
Yeah, I
Nice.
couldn't be bothered. So I just shoved them in the box. Wait, no, I think it goes in. Nope. There it is. It goes in there. So we do have a coil carbine.
Oh, we had a few of them. Oh wait, I upgraded. I think I upgraded the one we had.
Well, now we've got repair stuff for it in case we use it. Yeah, you can also open the wrong ammo by mistake. Venom? Says Dinky.
I don't know what you're talking about. Natural disaster, not my fault.
Okay, let me scroll back through chat and make sure I didn't miss anything. because I think I have been. I've been waffling on about the changes and development of games, and just in case anybody is curious, we are over 100, level 100, and it's only day 24. I don't remember A20 Darkness Falls leveling this quickly.
It's after 100, things start going real fast.
Well, I know, but I don't even remember getting up to level 100. And I know that we've played past day 24 and A20 Darkness Falls. It seems like A20 Darkness Falls, you level up a lot quicker. Wait a minute. Did I? Ah! It's a Night Stalker! Don't worry, I killed it. I thought I heard somebody whispering to me. I was like, what in the world was that? Are there more? Was it part of a horde?
I don't know.
It's just wandering around in daytime? What's that nonsense?
Well, I guess I wandered into a wandering hordes. I mean, that might have been part of it that got missed.
But that wandering horde was a ways away. Oh, is it over here by the house?
Box of dice and stacks of 10. I wasn't aware of that.
Do you have a habit of mishearing Venom? I have a habit of mishearing Venom.
Venom has a habit of
Mishearing Venom. Yes, that's right. That's true. Tarandriel.
Let's see.
There were a couple of spare zombies hanging around the outside of the fence. So I know that a couple of people were talking about, was it Black Asp? It could have been Black Asp. Somebody was telling me that they do farming differently than I do in Darkness Falls because they use the hoeing method. Now, I use a hoe to collect the produce, but I use farm plots because they've changed the way the farming works, because I think it's due to the changes in vanilla of how farming works. There was some change that they couldn't make it work the way that it had last time in Darkness Falls. Yeah. So you have to hoe in one direction, and then you have to like skip a row and then hoe in one direction, and then skip a row and then hoe in one direction. And then if you want to put down like rain barrels or irrigation, usually people make like trenches in between, but then you get like these weird like triangular piles in between like rows of water. You could probably do it a little differently. And I know that there is a video up on our Discord about how to do it like efficiently and nicely. I have not had a chance to watch because it was like right after Monday's stream, the Chaos Crew stream. Venom was starting to feel like garbage, and I woke up the next day feeling like garbage. So I haven't had a chance to watch it yet because we've been busy feeling like garbage for the last couple of days.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I do know it's there. I just haven't gotten a chance to see it. But also, farming for 2 people is way different than farming for, say, 6 or 7 people. So we have, I don't know if you guys really got a chance to look, but I have not harvested our garden in days because I just have so much stuff that we would run out of room. I wouldn't have any place to put it. And then we have this much food and drink. And that's with keeping some on us, like at all times. And that's just for like 2 people.
Right.
So the way that I cook and the way that I harvest and the way that I farm and all of that stuff, it is way too much for like 2 people. But especially in the beginning, for like 6 or 7 people, it's crazy nuts.
Crazy nuts.
And I mean, you can see, I don't even have that big of a garden. I have like a few rows. There's just frames out there. where we were planning to expand the garden because we figured we were going to need even more. But then we found out about the hoe trick. I think it was Rad who told us about the iron hoe that you could use to harvest everything, including trees, by the way. Yeah, and I will look at the video, Black Asp, and I appreciate the information. I just have felt too much garbage to really do too much of anything. I did plant trees on the Chaos Crew, but... And I know that this comes up all the time. It says in the description that trees do not require water. But since A20 Darkness Falls has come out, for some reason, if it's
It does have an effect.
if it's not nearby water, or there aren't like water barrels nearby of some description or some kind of water, they just don't really seem to grow. Or if they do, it's very, very slowly. So just, if you've ever tried this mod, just be aware that you probably should put them fairly close to some kind of water source. I think I've mentioned it before, because we had that problem in one of our previous playthroughs with the Chaos Crew. The trees just weren't producing. And then Bladed said, well, you should put down some rain barrels, because that fixed it. And then we did, and lo and behold, oh.
Definitely seemed to work better, if nothing else.
But especially because I have like my mining and all of that all the way up. And I've got my living off the land all the way up and all of that for harvesting. And then I think it goes off mining skill, but I'm not 100% sure because my tool usage is pretty high. If you just whack on the trees with the hoe, you also get increased yield from the trees. That was a tip from somebody. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Black Asp again. He has a lot of good information, by the way. Which also reminds me, on our Discord, I put in a whole bunch of extra places for some of the games that we play. Like for Divinity, Icarus, Back for Blood, and I think I did one more. Oh yeah, Project Zomboid. So if you want to talk about those games, or there's also voice chat for those games, so if you wanted to voice chat with somebody while you're playing, or like stream it over Discord or whatever, there are places for that. So if you have any handy tips, or if you want to ask a question or something like that about one of those games, there is a place for it.
Yes.
Yeah, forever. Like seriously. It does because I've planted those trees, I think, very near the beginning of the new start on the Chaos Crew, and it's like day 10 or 11, and they're only to the shrub look state, and they haven't grown like really past that.
Yeah, first growth just seems insanely long. Making more room in the weapons box. You have a stun baton?
I do. I'm hesitant to use it since it kept stunning me.
Oh, here, give it to me.
And since I got Thor's hammer, I really don't want to use anything else, to be honest.
Oh, sorry, a plasma baton.
Oh no, I don't have a plasma baton. I would like one. Which Back for Blood would be good to get, the cheap or the other ones? Well, oh, I bet there's different bundles.
I would go all in, personally, if you can afford it.
It depends on how much you think you're going to play it.
That is a big factor, yes.
Because if you think you're just going to dabble in it and maybe play a little bit, I would go for the cheaper one. If you really think you're going to
There you
get
go.
into it and you're going to play it a lot, I would maybe invest a little bit more because you'll get a little nicer stuff. Ooh. El Schmance. Look at that. Wow, 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 wow. So let me go actually, hold on a second. Let me go look at Steam and see what the packages are, and then I would tell you what I think is worth it. The annual pass, I got the annual pass. Because I don't think I got the deluxe or the ultimate. Oh wait, I might have gotten the deluxe because I think I got like the skins, the Fort Hope skins or whatever. No, I couldn't have gotten it because I didn't have the annual pass until just recently. I was like, there was the downloadable content and I don't have it. So I just bought the annual pass. It doesn't
Right.
really say what they are, does it? Well, that's garbage. Like sometimes they'll put in like, oh, you can get the soundtrack and all this other stuff, and I'm like, okay. Deluxe edition. Okay.
Now that's worth it for Doom.
So with the deluxe edition, you get the base game and then you get the annual pass, which has 3 upcoming downloadable content drops with new story, playable characters, special mutated written, and more. And so far, the downloadable content that they've put out, this first one, is actually really good. So I went in on the annual pass because I was like, yeah, that sounds like a good deal. The Ultimate Edition says it comes with the base game, the annual pass, 4-character battle-hardened skin packs, so it's cosmetics, and a digital in-game items, a rare banner, an emblem, and a spray and a title. So it's just like extra stuff. That doesn't sound like, how much more was the Ultimate? It's like $99. I don't know if I would pay that for it. I was gonna say I might tell you to wait for a sale unless you really want to play it. Unless you're like super like you're like, yes, I must play this game. Then maybe. But either wait for a sale or figure out what your investment mood is. If you're only gonna play it a little bit, I would definitely wait for a sale.
Yes.
But you can play it single player now and get advancement. Like you can unlock things and stuff. It used to be.
Which wasn't a thing at first.
No, it was not. And people were very salty because they called it like single player mode. But what they really meant was offline doesn't count towards anything mode. Training mode. Practice mode is what they meant. And they didn't have it named as such. So people were very confused.
In fact, later they even did rename it as such.
They did.
And then after that, I guess they figured out a way to make it feel balanced or what have you, and then it's now you can actually make progress.
People were ultra salty about that.
Just a bit.
Yeah, look at this. 1 beehive. I think it was Black Asp as well who told us only make like 1 beehive because you will get so much honey that you won't even know what to do with it. And I will have to say, whoever that was that told us that, it is accurate.
Accuracy was accurate.
If you're like, ah! Yes, exactly. Why, thank you, John. And also, hello and welcome, John. Sneaking in. I see how it is. I can always get the cheap one, and if I want to play it more, then I can do it later. Yes, exactly. I don't think you can upgrade to the ultimate, but you can at least get like the annual pass, or you can buy the DLCs individually or whatever, I think. So, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think. This is the problem that Hitman had, actually. When they rebooted the Hitman series, they made it so difficult and convoluted to figure out which edition you were buying. I think this was like for Hitman 2, because you could get Hitman 2, and if you had Hitman 1, then all of those episodes would be unlocked and playable in Hitman 2 as well. But there was like so many different additions and bonuses and different packs and all this other stuff. It was very confusing to figure out what you needed to buy to get what you wanted. You were chilling with Venom. I get your Wednesday. Eat the head! Yes, I'm sorry. Wednesday was a no-go, John. I'm very sorry. But we felt like utter garbage. I'm just glad that we don't. Today. No.
So, weapons box has been cleaned up. And the armor box has been cleaned up. So this... I'm just going to scrap that shit. That.
I've got 5 points to spend. What am I going to spend it in? Oh, that's right. I said I needed to take a new class because I don't have anything to spend in. You do miss the time when you bought a game and that's all you needed. I know, right?
Those were the days.
Those were the days. We're so old. But I remember back in a time when you couldn't buy a game anyway. You had to go to the arcade, so. You had to have a good supply of quarters. Yeah, I'm like running
Yes,
out of
I do need another lab
things-
run.
Running out of things to put points in. I can't put my last into boomstick until I get shotguns to 60, and that's not going to happen until Horde Night, probably.
Do crack runs?
In the
Crack
box
book?
games were nice, no monthly BS. Yeah, they're really trying to push this games as a service thing. I've heard that, well, I've heard a lot of things. One is that the games industry is ending up being consolidated into like 4 or 5 massive companies if you really pay attention to who is purchasing whom and who is acquiring what IPs and things like that, which is a little disturbing. Because the more competition you have, the better pricing can be competitive, and also the more varied games you can have, I think, in my opinion. That's how
Right.
competition is supposed to work. When you have things consolidated into a handful, 1 or 2 people or companies, you end up losing a lot of that. And they can charge you whatever they want because they have the lion's share. Oh no, we got bots!
You got bots?
I got bots, guys! I am a real streamer. Thank you, Dinky, for taking care of that. I look over and it's just like bot deleted, bot hidden. I'm like, oh my god.
I forgot my key cards.
I thought they were in your drone.
They were. Before.
Also, they're trying to figure out what the best monetization model is for games, because what they'd really like to do is squeeze you for everything that they possibly can.
Oh, yeah.
Like season, what is it? It's not season passes. It's what do they call it? It's like where they have like a. It is kind of like a season pass. It's like the thing where you, like with Dead by Daylight, they would have the thing where you could unlock it if you like ground like 7,000 hours a day, or if you bought Oryx cells, their premium currency from their shop, you could unlock the track right away, and then you wouldn't really have to worry about missing out.
Well, no, some of that was complete bullshit. It was purchase or nothing.
Right. There was some things that you either purchased it or you didn't get it, but some of it was like, oh, you could unlock most of it for free if you want to grind your fingers down to the nub playing every minute of your waking life forever. But what did they call it? It wasn't like a season pass. It was something else.
Darren? Gambling on boxes? Yeah, pretty much. It's a gaming model. I don't remember. I know what you're referring to. It's when, okay, you could possibly, or sometimes not possibly, get this in game. But if it's going to take you, a year to say of constant playing and grinding to get this thing, or you can get it right now if you just pay us money for it.
Right.
Some exaggeration there.
And a lot of them are, like, even Guild Wars, I think, is guilty of this. You can get convenient stuff. So, like, extra slots for your bank, or extra inventory slots that you can open up and put bags in for your character's inventory, or mining tools that will never break, or, all this other stuff. You can buy that stuff with real money in their gem shop, but most of it is cosmetics. Now, I will say one thing for Guild Wars. Their cosmetics are on point. Like, I haven't seen a cosmetic that they had in their store where I was like, oh my god, that's ugly. Why would you want to own that? Why would you spend money on that? Like, all of the cosmetics are, like, genuinely pretty good. There's been a couple that have actually tempted me. I was like, wow, that's awesome. And then I'm like, but I don't want to spend any more money on this. No, thank you.
Now, I actually, when it comes to, like, cosmetic items that are purely cosmetic or stuff like that, or little collectible things, I'm all for making a market for that.
I think that there's nothing wrong with it. I understand the thought process of a lot of those things used to be rewards for playing the game.
Well, so game development has changed.
This is also true.
In the day, when you had once you release the game, you're done. You move on. You're not putting any more money into that game as a company standpoint. But now we've got continuous development.
Right. But
patterns.
The thing about unlocking and stuff, I think some of it was from, like, the MMO standpoint, where it's like, you knew somebody had really played a lot, or they had really done amazing achievements if they had this specific thing in game, because they had this piece of gear, or because they rode a specific mount, or whatever it is. You could tell by what they were wearing, or what they were riding, or their title, or whatever, that they really knew what they were doing. And that's not so much the case anymore. It's like, you just bought it off the store, or you had somebody level your character. Now, Guild Wars does have a boost system where you can boost your character to 80, and I was very hesitant to use my boosts that came with buying the expansions, because I was like, well, I think it feels kind of scummy, because I wouldn't want to get into a situation where I don't know what this character does. I've never really played it. Because I didn't level it myself. But because the play is simultaneously similar enough between characters, and also so different after 80, it doesn't really make a difference, I don't think, to be honest.
Right.
Meso, you're the only you would be happy to see bots in their stream. No, I think Venom did the same thing. He's like, I've made it, guys. I'm real. I'm really making it. There's bots in our stream.
Yeah, it was something like that.
The least the bots could do is learn how to complete a sentence. That would be nice. I swear Venom just sounded like Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park.
Big pile of shit.
You kind of got lost using the boost in Guild Wars 2. Okay, there's a lot to know in Guild Wars 2. There are a lot of systems. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of moving pieces. I think maybe the reason I didn't get completely lost was because I went back and did some of the... I just went back and started opening the map again. That was my default. If I couldn't figure out what was going on, I'd be like, all right, well, I'm just going to open this section of the map. I'm just going to go over here and complete all of the hearts and find all the POIs and all the vistas. And I'll get back to that when I'm not completely irritated that this is a roadblock and I can't figure out what's happening. There are a lot of things that aren't explained. Now, some people call that challenge. Oh, it's not holding your hand. Oh, so being completely lost is good? I do like sometimes when you have to figure things out yourself. Like, there are puzzle games where, like, you actually have to figure out the puzzle. Like, it's genuinely puzzling and you have to put the pieces together, and you feel so good after you've put them together that it feels like an accomplishment. And I don't have anything wrong with that. But there's also being so tricky and obfuscated that it's just frustrating and nonsense because I want to relax with a game that just makes me kind of want to scream.
Or just too obtuse.
Yeah. Am I the only one that feels a little awkward when you just start a new MMO and then a random level 60 player just gives you super gear out of nowhere? No, you're not the only one. I forgot to like the stream.
There are those that just seem to expect it. I'm new and you need to give me stuff. No.
Yeah, that was one of the things. Once WoW became more popular, we played WoW for several years when it first came out, and it got to a certain point when it became a lot more popular. There was a lot newer people. They would just come in and they would see you as a high level and they'd be like, oh, well, you need to run me through this place right now. I need this stuff. And I'm like, no, why would I do that? I don't know who you are, and you didn't ask politely, and you didn't even say please, so why would I help you?
Exactly. They had subscription on the MMORPGs, and they went paying for areas to open up.
Okay, so
yeah,
there's...
They decided that the free-to-play model was going to be, that free-to-play but pay-to-win model was going to be more beneficial to them. But I keep seeing it just destroy MMOs, or at least it destroys the community and the value of the game.
So there's an argument, like for V Rising, people are a little bit salty that they already have DLC out, and it's an early access game. And I can understand on the one hand why people are saying, well, it's an early access, but you want me to pay extra money for DLC? You haven't even finished the game. First of all, V Rising is actually quite a polished game already. I haven't really had a whole lot of problems with it, and they're only planning to add to it, and there's already a lot going on, like a lot of stuff in the game.
It does feel, I will say, it does feel very complete for an EA game.
But
very
also,
complete, very polished.
But also, even if it's not, even if it truly is like early access, like early stages, right? The developers need funding. They need to be able to pay their employees so that they can make this game. And one of the ways of doing that is selling copies of the game and making it early access. Yes, but sometimes that's not quite enough. Making a game is a very expensive endeavor. So, I mean, I wouldn't want to see every early access come out with DLC. No, I don't think that that's a good precedent. However, I do understand like supporter and founder packs that
Oh yeah, definitely.
that people come out with that are basically DLCs, and they're a lot of times cosmetic. And that's basically what the DLC for like V Rising is. It's a supporter pack. Support us in the development of this game. Purchase this extra stuff, these cosmetics. They're fun for you, and they help us fund the game. So like the funding of games has become very different than it used to be in the day. You want to bring out like sequels or DLC for your game and try to string it along as much as possible, because then you're still paying your employees for something that's probably going to make money. Like, not every new thing is going to make money, but hey, Darren. Sorry, I'm ranting about DLCs and monetization of games at the moment. And it all really started with the Fun Pimps and what they're doing with A21. It's gotten me thinking about it. I listen to this stuff all the time, by the way. I listen to like game news and what's happening in the industry and all kinds of stuff. It's actually really interesting to me, anyway. Obviously, or I wouldn't be waffling on about it. But it's a lot more complicated than people think. Like, if there's a bug in a game, a lot of people think, oh, well, that would take me 2 minutes to fix it. But knowing, say, Venom, for example, who doesn't work on games, but he does work with code every day, all day long, something that seems like an easy fix could have a very complicated root of how it got there in the first place, or why it's happening, or how to make it stop. So one little tiny thing that seems super insignificant could be weeks and weeks, if not months and months of work to try and track it down and then try and fix it. So yeah, I think people just kind of assume, oh, well, you just sit there and make games all day. How hard can that be? It's it's really hard. And that's just the code part. That's not talking about the characters, the models, the voice acting, or everything else, the music, the art direction, everything else that goes into a game as well. Then there's the writing, and I mean, I could go on and on for ages. But yeah, there's a lot of, you have to be able to monetize your game, and you have to be able to make money. But then there's also, well, who is getting the money, and how much money, how much of a cut are they getting, and are they being compensated fairly, and do they have a lot of crunch, and are they being treated fairly, and all this other stuff. It's a complicated mess, guys. I like that they even say that the DLC for V, they tell you that it's for the purpose of support. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to fault a company, especially when they're upfront. Hey, guys, we need money, so we're putting this off as a DLC. Help.
So, like, the developers of Icarus, for example, I think they're in denial. They are still in early access. There's a lot of features that are not in the game yet. They're still in development, basically, even though they've said, oh, yeah, this is a full game. It's not. And that's fine.
Wow, what was that?
What was what?
You just ran through that wall, that door.
But what they are honest and upfront about is that, like, every week they post about the state of the game, what they're adding, what they've changed, and you can see that they're working really, really hard on it, and they're trying to really do well with this game. So I can respect that for sure.
It makes me feel like it was the corporate decision to release prematurely, and the developers are really trying hard to compensate for that.
You move over
That's what
here
it
from
feels
the
like.
Venom channel because the view is better. I'm just randomly going around killing zombies and ranting about the games industry.
Temporarily immune to radiation.
Now, see, this makes me think of V Rising and building my castle. And I'm like, oh, man. I need to go kill the next boss because I need the next bench. I have so much to do. And look at the garden and, like, the little mausoleums and stuff. Oh, so much work to do. So much work to do.
You just dodged me.
What I should do is I should go home and, ooh, look at that. I should go home and I should make a new class book. That's what I should do.
There you go. What class are you thinking about?
I don't know. I already took scientist, right?
So.
And you've already took survivalist because we have watches. And I have cooking and farming, and I think I took security too.
Sure you fleshed out, I guess.
I am, that's the problem. I have like 6 points to spend. I don't have anything to spend it on.
What about the basics? So you've got
Nope.
health nut from the shadows. You could spend in that. A little bit in parkour, sexy Rexy. Your weapon skills. Let's see, all the craftings.
Mm-hmm. I have
Iron
the craftings. I have iron gut. I did not spend in pack mule. I suppose I could do that. I suppose I could put into lock picking. It's not usually something I put into, but I suppose I could. What do I need? Oh, I need another point. That's what I need. Gotcha. Okay, my points are spent.
Your points.
My spoints. My spoints are pent. V Rising is addictive. Yeah, it is a little. A bit. A smidgen.
Smidge.
Ooh, dinner is here. Nom 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 nom.
I like food.
I'm just wandering around. I don't really have a goal except for killing zombies with my hammer. Blood is the new crack.
Power armor. And it's not power armor.
Hey, it doesn't matter. Don't just say, oh, it's just Mickey D's. It's nothing special. It is. It is special. Because it's food. Food is precious. Just imagine what would happen if you didn't have food.
Yeah, exactly. I can't seem to really get ahead on
what?
on the green key cards.
Oh, they used to drop like mad. Like you'd end up with bucket loads of them.
Yeah, now there's a distinct limitation. Like we're swimming in blue key cards, but it's like I can only just maintain with green ones.
Yes, Mickey D's is McDonald's, Yara. That's what some people, or like in Australia they call it Macca's. V reminds you of Baldur's Gate a bit, and your wife, and you love that game. Oh my god, don't get me started on Baldur's Gate. I've never really played like the original games, but the third one that's coming out from Larian, they're the same people who do Divinity, and I am so excited. You guys, you have no idea how excited I am. It is like combining two things that I absolutely love and adore, D&D and Divinity, and it is like the best ever. And also, the ladies can have beards. So, amazing. Doesn't mean that my lady will have a beard. Just the fact that I can have one is amazing. My dwarf lady can have a proper beard. If she so chooses. What about D&D? Yeah, Baldur's Gate is D&D stuff. It is based off of the D&D...
Edition rules.
Well, the Baldur's Gate 3 is, yes.
Yes.
But Baldur's Gate itself is in Faerun, I think, right? The Sword Coast and all of that. It's one of the long-standing... D&D is kind of like the multiverse, right? So you've got like Eberron and Faerun and all these different places, but they're not like on the same planet. They're like completely different iterations of a planet or the world. So I believe it's like Baldur's Gate is like from the same type of thing as like Neverwinter and stuff like that. Most people have heard of Neverwinter because they've made games and they've made I think did they make a show? No, I don't think they did. But they've made a lot of games about Neverwinter.
That's hurting.
What's hurting? Do you need help?
Freaking behemoth.
Ew.
2 behemoths had me cornered.
Gross. The Forgotten Realms. Yes, Chaplain. Thank you. Kind of new to D&D, only on my second campaign. The best thing, okay, about D&D is that it doesn't have to happen in Faerun. It doesn't have to happen in the Forgotten Realms. It doesn't have to be anything. You could have your own universe. And I think that's kind of where they're embracing kind of the multiverse of D&D, because everybody plays these games, you know, in their own special way at their own table. And so their campaign, even if they run it off of, say, the same module or the same adventure, it ends up being totally different. So I guess kind of they're embracing the idea that all of these things could be true and happen because of like a multiverse kind of a concept. And I think one of their newest books is about the multiverse of D&D. But anyway, Baldur's Gate is based on D&D. It has been even since like the first video games. And some people,
was based on second edition.
Right, and some people were very salty because Larian's version isn't strict D&D, which the original versions of Baldur's Gate were not strict versions of D&D either. But there are the people who are really salty that it's not as strict to the rules of D&D as they really wanted, or it's not.
There's a couple different teams in that regard. There was the team that was, you know, it has to be adamant D&D rules, hardcore, blah, blah, blah. And then there was the ones that it's not Baldur's Gate because it doesn't have this non-D&D aspect insert here.
Right.
Like they wanted real time with pause, which obviously is not D&D. D&D is purely a turn-based game. And they were salty that it was turn-based. So, I mean, you had multiple camps on that one.
Well, you also have the people who are like, oh, well, it's not really Baldur's Gate. This is obviously just Divinity 3 or whatever. And it doesn't really have anything to do with Divinity. There's no story beats from the Divinity universe. It's completely from Baldur's Gate universe. And D&D, because there's actually places like Avernus, which is Hell, one of the places in the 9 Hells, that features in it a little bit. Like history of that place features into it. I don't think you really have to know everything about Baldur's Gate or the history of D&D or anything to be able to enjoy it. I think they'll explain it as they'll go along. From what I've seen, they kind of reference some of this stuff, and then if you ask about it, like in dialogue, they'll explain it. And I think they're going to flesh that out more. Nerd. Exactly. I've been a nerd probably longer than you've been alive, John. I should know that place because we went through it once. I think it's kind of D&D because it's compatible with D&D 5th edition. They're working with Wizards of the Coast. Larian was working directly with the Wizards of the Coast, who own Dungeons and Dragons. And so they got picked to make Baldur's Gate 3 by the Wizard of the Coast. It's not called D&D. No, it's not called Dungeons and Dragons.
What's that called?
I'm assuming Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate is a place. So it's Baldur's Gate itself is a region in the Forgotten Realms.
Little Redbird says, the DM let me be a barbarian gnome and I carry them all. That's amazing. Oh, your new board game. I remember you did send me a picture. It's like D&D because it's based on the rules of 5th edition, but it's like super cutie animals. It is pretty awesome looking, to be fair. But that's the thing about D&D is that it doesn't have to be like super gritty and, you know, super grown up. You could play it with kids and just tune the story to be more kid friendly. And it would be perfectly fine with the rules. I mean, you might lighten up the rules a little bit because there's a lot of rules. But even with grown-ups, sometimes lightening up the rules is necessary because some of them, well, I'll just be honest, don't make a whole lot of sense or seem to be a little unnecessary. And it should be more, I think, a lot of times focused on fun and sometimes the story that you're creating than hard and fast rules. Although I am a rules person. I am. I'm not gonna lie. It's all D&D. That's the system style. Each realm has its own thing and name. So it's all D&D, just in its own world. Exactly.
Basically, each of these worlds was somebody's campaign, and they developed a whole world around something. And then it just caught on. It became popular, and people play that world.
It has cats and dogs instead of orcs, elves, and humans, and so on. Well, to be fair, D&D has tabaxi, which are cat people. It has kinku, which are kind of like crow or raven people. It has Aarakocra, which are like bird people.
Eagle people, if you will.
Am I a furry? I don't know. I prefer animal cartoons. Well, some people just like cartoons. I like cartoons. I like comic books.
Finally got it and destroyed the thing.
You got it and destroyed the thing.
Portal power source.
Oh, you destroyed the portal downstairs? In the lab?
Yep.
Oh, wow. There's also like hippopotamus people. I don't remember what they're called, but I have seen them. If you can think it, D&D can have it. Exactly.
Yeah, pretty much. That sums it up.
I think that's basically the best part about it.
Black Asp, as far as I know, it's just that RNG has been screwing me.
Oh, yeah.
With the green cards.
Lizard folk. That's true. And then there's gnolls, which are kind of like hyena people, I guess. Although I do have a lore book about where the gnolls came from, and it's kind of gross.
Yes. A bit on the disturbing side, one might say.
That is not. Okay, Rock, you dumb. What the?
What?
It looked like I walked into the tree and just knocked it over.
Why'd you do that?
Well, I was trying to chop down the tree, but the rock right next to it kept getting hit. So I got rid of the rock, and then I walked up to the tree, and it fell over.
This is a boreal murder. A boricide? Oh, now I get to finally loot the portal room in peace. This is the first time I've actually destroyed that portal.
Noise. It's Gnolls. Knowles. You can if you want, Yara. I don't think it's not like naughty bad.
What's that?
It's more of like undead, cannibalistic kind of gross. And yes, Gnolls. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Now let's find out just how giving it's going to be this time with all the deets.
But then reading up on the war between the demons and the devils was interesting. Disturbing, for sure, but interesting.
Oh, yeah. Always so much going on. Oh, shit. I haven't fully cleared this place yet.
Whoops.
Oh, wow. Okay, he's gone. Wow, she like bounced horizontally.
Zombie hyena people, kinda, but not really. But kinda, but not really. Like, there's the gnolls that are definitely living. Probably. And those are the, like, historically, they're like dog / hyena type people that are usually quite aggressive and territorial and don't really like humans and stuff. Usually used as enemies to the adventuring group. But another thing about D&D that is
Another Eric's hammer
lovely
for you.
is that you don't actually have to use that. They have all this history and all of this lore and backstory on like all the different races and stuff, which of course I read because I am a nerd and I enjoyed it thoroughly. But it's all stuff that you can either leave, take, accept, say is heresy in your universe, whatever. Excuse me just a second. Excuse me. Then there's all these different gods and stuff. And so, like, where did they go? Like, for the Forgotten Realms, I think the gods kind of went away. If I
AWOL.
Yeah, they just kind of went away. They decided that they weren't going to get involved anymore, if I remember correctly. But you can still have clerics and you can still have paladins, which like get their powers from these deities. And you can still have sort of their influence and stuff felt around the world, the different dimensions. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. There's all different kinds of dimensions. So like you could open up a door and you'd be in a pocket dimension somewhere.
Yep. There's been a lot of people working on a lot of ideas for this building of a universe.
For example, if you ever watch the trailer for Baldur's Gate 3, you will see interdimensional travel. Which is really awesome, by the way, and you should definitely give the trailer a look-see if you haven't previously, because it's pretty awesome.
Now, the appearance and general play techniques is very similar to Divinity, because it's basically using a modified engine from Divinity.
Right. Favorite item is the bag of holding. Oh, bags of holding are delicious. Except if you go through an interdimensional portal, because you can't have like an interdimensional space, an extra dimensional space, I should say, which is a bag of holding. The bag of holding is as big as a satchel, but the inside can carry, what is it, like several cubic yards or something of space, and it's up to 500 pounds. Like, it was no greater than just your sack. So, bags of holding are amazing, but you can't like put them inside other dimensions, because it will cause a rift and you will be basically shot into the Ethereum and trapped there until you can find a way to escape.
Which, hint, you can't.
Oh, there's ways. There's always a way. But would you like the way? Probably not. You're probably going to have to make a deal with somebody you don't want to be dealing with. Some of this might go over my head. I mostly want to explore dungeons and find treasure. That sounds like a good place to start. Never put a bag of holding in a bag of holding. Exactly. Bad things can happen. Never put a bag of holding into a portable hole. There's also a bag of devouring, which is kind of like the opposite of a bag of holding.
Yep.
A bag of holding keeps things until you want them. A bag of devouring takes things and never gives them back.
Exactly.
Rift. Astral. Bad. Yes, bad things. Very bad things. Oh, and there's no back hole on the fence. Of course not. A bag of what the fuck now?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. See, now you get it. So in the campaign I'm in, the god of magic is dead, and a bad vampire rules over the world. Ooh, that sounds exciting. I mean,
Oh,
that's a
Rob?
disaster. I probably shouldn't have sounded so excited about that. Really? Doom, you say? Well.
Yeah, for Doom.
So do you have the... Okay, I'm assuming, and probably maybe I shouldn't, but I'm assuming that your adventuring party is good, so you're going to want to get rid of the vampire. However, if they're not really as good as, you know, they could be, you could go into business with the vampire.
Yeah, deals, money making, profit.
Deck of many things. Oh no. Nope. If I'm running a campaign, that's not allowed unless they've been extreme butt nuggets. And guess what they're gonna find?
Guess what I'm gonna throw away?
Guess what? You're not gonna have a choice. You can be compelled to draw a card. When the DM has gotten tired of the game as it's been going. When people have been a little too butt nuggety, let's just say. So I gotta go do things and possibly stuff. Yeah, Ravenloft. So when I was a newer, I was more expensive than just like a super baby DM, but still kind of a novice at it. I tried to run Ravenloft, and I didn't want to railroad the people in the campaign. So I would give them all these options of different places they could go, and like kind of gave them the map and said, look, you could go anywhere on here. Just pick a place and, you know, you could go there. And nobody knew what they wanted to do or where to go. It was entirely overwhelming. And so a lot of the advice that they give to new DMs is, oh, don't railroad your players. And I say, yes, to a point, but also it's kind of bullshit. Because a lot of times your players aren't going to know what they want to do or where they're going to want to go. So you kind of have to guide them and direct them a little bit, or maybe limit the amount of options that they have. And people will say, oh, well, that's terrible. How could you? How will your players feel like they have any agency? Well, they get to decide what they're going to do. And the players throw wrenches at you all the time and pick things that you never expected. And so you have to adapt all the time. But that doesn't mean that giving them all of the options, it's kind of like video games. They can't let you do whatever you want. There are restrictions. There are consequences, hopefully, sometimes. Because consequences sometimes make the game better. Oh, you wanted to steal all of that from the poor villagers? Okay. You're going to be hunted down by the guards now. You wanted to murder hobo your way through this, you know, village of innocent civilians because you wanted the ancient treasure that they had underneath their village? I mean, sure. You can do that. Murder hobos, exactly. But there may be consequences. Maybe that thing that they were hiding was cursed, or maybe you've gotten the attention now of an evil god. Or a devil who now wants to make a bargain. Maybe that thing that you're holding actually belongs to them, and they want it back.
Oh, that's the fun one to pull on them.
Murder hobo is the D&D default. And I haven't, well, okay, but I mean, I haven't played with a whole lot of people. Mostly, I've played with our family and some coworkers of Venom's, and we're not murder hobos by the rule. We actually like to have, you know, story, but then the people who are usually the DMs is either me or Venom, and we believe in consequences for actions.
Oh yeah.
So, murder hoboism is highly discouraged. It's always cursed. Let the paladin try it first. Also, hello, Keith. I'm the gamer that's looking for loot and treasure all the time, and then pant around when it's too heavy backpack. Yes. This is why you need a bag of holding.
I do need a bag of holding. Look.
A lot of the D&D games that have been made up to this point haven't been great. I mean, some of them are pretty good. Like, I like Neverwinter Nights. And Neverwinter Nights 2.
Years ago today.
Yes. I did like those games. But some of the other ones, either I never even heard of them, or I saw them and I was not impressed. But this one, Baldur's Gate 3, now that I am anticipating. First of all, it is absolutely gorgeous. It is just stunningly beautiful, some of the places that they've made in this game. And it really starts off with a bang, like literally.
Yeah, you could say that.
And the stakes are high. Oh no, we've got bots again. Wow, they're
Wow.
just not messing around with that, are they? I don't know, should I put commercial content or spam? That's what I usually put. But then there's also pornography or sexually explicit material.
Report them for child porn.
Well, they actually used the F-bomb this time, so I'm reporting them for pornography and sexually explicit material. Wow, the bots are up in their game. They pulled out the F word.
Ooh, they got serious.
Mm-hmm.
I'll fuck them. I need to go this way. Oh.
I don't believe that I can put it on subscriber only chat like Lainey and Spange do. Oh my god.
More?
More.
Wow, jeez. They're on you.
Anyway, I can't put it on subscriber only like Lainey and Spange do because I think you have to be a full like member and you have to have 1,000 subs and all that business. You have to have so many watch hours and yada yada yada. It's a lot easier to get approved through Twitch, but I'm not interested in Twitch particularly. But then a lot of the stuff that would really help people is locked behind it for YouTubers, which is kind of insane.
Yeah, it's kind of neat.
So I would put it on subscribers only if I could, because subscribing is free on YouTube, so I don't really feel too bad about it. I know it kind of smacks of elitism. Oh, well, you have to join my club before you can chat in my chat. But to keep the bots out, I would do it. I just don't think I have access to that. And if I do, I don't know where it is. So if anybody knows where that setting is, and they can direct it to me without having to be one of the preferred members or whatever the hell they call them on YouTube, let me know. You're being naughty and not doing your schoolwork. How could you, little red bird? For shame. Your cat is giving you the death eyes because I didn't give him any of my ice cream sandwich. Oh no. How dare you, Aaron? How dare you?
I do have a bag of holding. It is my drone. I need to get more cargo mods for it.
Is it because you were saying pant pant? No, it's because I happen to be live right now, and they just figure that they can spam to an audience. That's why it happens. You just finished your first paper. You need a little break. See, you'll be fine. Besides, it's nearly morning time, I think. It'll be in morning time soon, I believe. And then you'll have to get your paper done. Well, I mean, I'm sure you could find something else but to distract yourself with. My cat ate the cheese off of my paper the hamburger came on. Oh no. I'm a little paranoid about our cat. When we first got our cat, I was paranoid that they would eat something like human food that they weren't supposed to have because I never had a cat when I was a kid. And then our cat is really weird because he doesn't really seem to like human food. Like, he likes to smell it. He'll sniff
He wants
it.
nothing to do with it.
And like crackers, he's super interested in crackers and he wants to like lick the salt off of it. But that's it. He doesn't actually want to eat them. He just wants to lick them. And then he wants to just like have nothing to do with it. And other stuff, he doesn't even want to lick it. He just wants to sniff it and then he wants to walk away. And he's like, no thanks. No thank you. It's due in 4 hours. Oh. Maybe you should be working on it is all I'm saying. If it's due in 4 hours. Maybe you should be working a little more and taking a little less break. I mean, I'm not your mom, but I'm kind of your internet mom. And so I'm just saying, I'm giving you the look.
Internet mom look.
Mm-hmm. You know, the mom look. You'll get it done. It's only 200 words. Oh, 200 words. You could probably do that standing on your head. You got this.
Okay. Progress was made.
Progress is good.
Oh, I didn't upgrade the tools.
Yes, Pi probably would kill you as well. And then you'd be double dead. And then what would you do?
Oh, I happened to pick up another Eric's hammer.
You did? What level is it?
20 something, but you can still upgrade yours with it.
Yeah, I will do that. Nice. Thank you. Pretty sure Span said you had to reach that special 500 subs or more before you could choose subs only. Well, Venom has 500 subs and I don't think he can do it.
I don't know. I don't even know where that's at.
It could be the ... dots next to the chat, I think. All I get is participants, pop-out chat, and toggle timestamps.
That's all I see.
So I'm pretty sure it's like 1,000 subs.
I isn't. Yeah, it's 1,000 subs is also where you can start monetizing.
You sent it to me in DMs on Discord. Okay. You found a video about sub only on YouTube live stream. Excellent. I have a feeling it is only for the monetized. The thing that I find kind of distasteful about that, though, is that YouTube can monetize you and make money on your content before you reach that point. And frankly, I think that's why they kind of want to keep the bar a little bit high for most people. Because then they can just keep monetizing other people's content that they don't have to make.
Holy shit. I didn't even notice I picked that up.
without
Picked up
giving
a
them,
laser M60.
without giving them a cut. A laser M60?
I gotta check this thing out.
Pew, 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 pew. Pew, 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 pew. How dare you take my petty zombies? No, he's too far away. Ha.
Yeah, it's no sniper rifle. That's interesting. Tools. I need to upgrade tools.
I brought you a whole bunch of iron.
Iron. The rest of this is going to be just me upgrading tools.
So I always try and scrap the brass in the workbench because it takes a long time. And if you do it in your inventory, then it sort of clogs everything up. If you have like anything else that you need to get done, it has to wait for that brass to get done. So I try to keep any of the scrapping of the brass, even like in vanilla, until I can do it in a workbench. Oops, wrong box. That's just something that I found that works out best for me because I really hate waiting for brass to scrap. A lot. Do we need silver for something?
It's for making engines for the gyrocopter, but I don't gyrocopter, so you don't gyrocopter.
So we're just gonna sell it then? The thing about being so efficient, having made all this stuff for food and having all the farming done and stuff, is that I don't really have a whole lot to do in the evenings.
Upgrade the tools.
I
Upgrade
could.
the armor, upgrade the weapons. Make sure the benches are working.
I could. So that's another thing we were talking about. I think that the Fun Pimps are trying to extend out the crafting and gear acquisition, which is why they're changing it to this new magazine regime, as it were. But they could just add something like this, where you have to repair it, and then you can upgrade it, like if you combine them in the bench and stuff like that. Bam. The things that you craft are not worthless, and the things that you find are not worthless anymore. It's a pretty good solution to that problem, in my opinion. Obviously, it's only my opinion, but
It seems functional. I mean, there might be a better way, but
no, there's no better way.
it definitely seems to work.
It is the way.
Is the greater good.
It's the only way.
Oh, so many laser swords too. Sure you don't want a laser sword?
I am positive my edge skill is absolute garbage.
Oh, better than working on it with a bone knife.
I have a machete.
You have a machete? Why would you have a machete when you could get a level 80 laser sword?
Let's see.
Here.
There's so many mod slots. What would you put? I mean, what mods could you possibly put in here?
A lot.
Apparently.
Wait a second. Those aren't weapons.
Did I already have in there? I have the tempered blade mod. You can't put the serrated and the tempered on the same one, can you?
Yes.
Too bad you can't put like the metal spikes on it. That'd be cool. I don't want to put the burning shaft mod on it because if I take this out like at any time, then it's gonna blind me. Especially if I've got my night vision goggles on. Wonder what else I could put on my plasma baton. Don't think we have any weighted head mods, which is unfortunate.
Make some.
Now, we hypothesized that it was the repulsor mod possibly that was causing that to stun myself.
Could just be that we're on a multiplayer server. With so many bugs going on.
Let's look at what kind of mods we can do. Oh yeah, I was supposed to make myself another class as well. Blessed Metal mod. Now we're talking.
It is something we want.
Generic schematics. Okay, generic schematics. Steel, glue.
How many do you need?
I need 5 steel.
I meant, how many blessed metal mods do you need?
Oh. Can I put them on my crossbow?
Yes.
Okay. And my shotgun?
Oh no, actually.
Well, I need at least 3 to put it on my weapons. And then if I was going to put it on my sword, that would be 4. I was just going to put it on my my baton for now. 16 words down. Awesome. Good for you. Let's see, you had 200 words. So that's 100 and what? Ugh, don't make me math. It is math. My brain just kind of shuddered. Let's see, that's 41. It's going to be more math. So 15 plus 15 is 30, so I can make 2 out of that. So that would be 10 steel, 10 glue, 10 mechanical. That's a lot of springs. Jeez. Oh, we've got plenty of springs. Never mind. Mechanical parts. What was the other thing? Glue?
It's pretty much a constant for mods. I keep doing that. There. You go there. Okay.
2. Craft. I'll go ahead and put this stuff away.
Oh my god, we've got wrenches.
It's true, we do. $181. I was gonna say 184, and then I was like, no, that can't be right. You're gonna say 184 and you'll be wrong, and I'll be like, oh, you're an idiot. Because that's how people are.
You're the pitter patter of zombie feet.
Blessed metal mod. Wahahaha. Pitter patter of zombie feet. What are zombie feet doing in this neck of the woods? Should I put it on my crossbow or on my shotgun?
Crossbow. That silent takedown.
Plus, I had less mods on my crossbow, so that's probably fair. You typed a few more words after that 16 you had. Well, good. It would be nice if you could have the recipes stay on the screen. See, because Kane said he was putting a little mini mod into this version of Darkness Falls where you could pin recipes so you could do that very thing. So while you were gathering the components, it would stay right there. Do I see any evidence of that in this mod? Have I heard anyone talk about it since then? No. Am I salty about it? Yes.
Okay, so that's some more food.
Because I thought that that was the best innovation that could have happened for this version of Darkness Falls. I was like, oh, hell yes! Pin
And
those
then it didn't.
recipes! And then it didn't happen, and I was like, how dare you? How dare you, indeed. Oh, the sky's getting pink. Well, I don't know about zombie footies, but I got a zombie that was over by Wrecked. I don't really see any other ones. Did you already take care
I
of
killed
them?
a bunch. Yeah, I
Oh.
did. It's funny we got all that food, and this tiny little garden is all we're running.
Oh, don't you know it, Grey Walker? Same. Unless well, okay, there are some recipes I am so familiar with that like I could probably rattle off at least the ingredients. Maybe not how many. It depends on the game and how many recipes are in the game. Hey, you got a scarecrow. What more do you want? I want pinnable recipes. Obviously. That's what I want. Like for the cooking, I could probably tell you several of the recipes, at least the ingredients, to tell you what you need to make it. Because I cook so often in 7 days, I could probably tell you from memory quite a lot of them. But like the stuff that I don't do so often, like making mods or stuff like that, yeah, I have absolutely no idea. And I find it very difficult to keep them in my brain for more than just like me looking at them. It is 3:48. So yeah, we've only got a few more minutes.
Yep. What's that?
Yeah, I think if the fun pimps spent more time like making things like pinnable recipes and I mean obviously making things run better and stuff like that. Efficiency, less RAM usage, all of that stuff. But I mean, like, for polish for the game, if they put in stuff like pinning recipes and all that stuff, I would be like, oh my god, you guys are the best. But no, they have to F with farming and like completely redo the perks and stuff. I'm like, but all right.
Why though? Okay, so
There's the
loading
bell.
Today was kind of a rambly stream, but we're planning on being back tomorrow as well for another stream, and yeah, maybe we can be a little more focused on tomorrow.
Wow. I mean, oh my gosh, Greywalker, I agree. I will, if I can remember the amounts, I will definitely probably screw them up and say that A is B and B is something else for sure.
Is B and B is something else?
So you'll pick the largest amount and get every item in that quantity. Sometimes I just go through and say, okay, it's these items, and so I just get like the stack of whatever that is without counting it out, because I'm just like, I won't remember how many it is.
Real quick, there is 2 level 80 laser multi-tools in the toolbox.
Oh, I have
So if
one.
you want one, you have level 80?
Yes. See, I have my paddle right here.
Okay. Oh, yeah. It is time for us to log off. I hope you guys enjoyed the rambly chaos that was the stream today. And we will be back tomorrow.
It was really nice to be back. I'm glad that we felt good and you guys all showed up. It was amazing. Thank you for coming. And we should see you tomorrow, hopefully.
Yep. Okay. Night, everybody. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.